Welcome back to my YouTube channel Coins History Coins VC. In today's video, we will explore 4 interesting United States half-dollar coins that are popular among collectors and coin history lovers. These coins include the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Half Dollar, 1981 D Half Dollar, 1984 D Half Dollar, and 1997 D Half Dollar. Each of these coins tells a unique story about American history, design, and minting traditions. Next, top 1. The 1776 to 1976 D Mint Mark Half Dollar is one of the most famous commemorative coins in United States history. This coin was issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence, also known as the Bicentennial of the United States. The year 1776 represents the year when America declared independence from Great Britain through the Declaration of Independence, while 1976 marks the 200-year celebration. Because of this special event, the U.S. Mint decided to redesign several coins, including the half dollar, quarter dollar, and $1. The Bicentennial Half Dollar was produced for circulation and for collectors, making it a historically meaningful coin for numismatists around the world. The obverse front of the coin features the portrait of John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States. This design was originally introduced in 1964 after Kennedy's assassination in 1963. The portrait was designed by Gilroy Roberts, who was the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at that time. On the front side, you will see the word Liberty written along the top edge of the coin, symbolizing the core value of the United States. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears below Kennedy's portrait. The dual date 1776 to 1976 appears at the bottom instead of a single year, which is a unique feature of bicentennial coins. The reverse back of the Bicentennial Half Dollar has a completely different design compared to regular half dollars. Instead of the usual presidential seal, the reverse shows Independence Hall, the historic building located in Philadelphia. Independence Hall is the place where both the United States Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution were debated and adopted. The design of this reverse side was created by Seth G. Huntington, whose artwork was selected through a national design competition held by the U.S. Mint. Above the building you can read United States of America, and below it is the denomination half dollar. Around the design are 13 stars representing the original 13 American colonies. The D Mint mark on the coin indicates that it was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint system. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins since it opened in 1906 and is famous among collectors for its D Mint mark coins. On the 1776 to 1976 half dollar, the mint mark is located on the obverse side near Kennedy's portrait. In terms of composition, the circulating Bicentennial Half Dollar struck in Denver was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, the same clad composition used for most U.S. coins after 1965. The coin weighs about 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, with a reeded grooved edge. Special collector versions were also produced in 40% silver, but those were mainly minted in San Francisco for collector sets. Production of the Bicentennial Half Dollar actually started in 1975 and 1976, but all of them carry the dual date 1776 to 1976. This means you will not find any half dollar dated 1975. Millions of these coins were minted because they were intended for wide circulation and to commemorate the national celebration. The Denver Mint alone produced over 287 million Bicentennial Half Dollars, making it a very common coin today. Even though the coin is common, it still holds strong historical and collector value. Many collectors keep it as part of their bicentennial coin sets along with the bicentennial quarter and dollar. In circulated condition, the value is usually close to its face value of 50 cents, but coins in uncirculated or mint condition can sell for several dollars. Special proof or silver versions may have higher values depending on their condition and rarity. For coin collectors and history lovers, the 1776 to 1976 D Mint Mark Kennedy Half Dollar is more than just money. It is a symbol of American history, national pride, and the celebration of 200 years of independence. The coin connects the founding of the United States in 1776 with the modern era of the 1970s, reminding people of the country's journey through 2 centuries of growth and development. Because of this meaning, many collectors around the world still search for bicentennial coins to add to their collections. If you are collecting coins or making educational videos about coins, the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Half Dollar is an excellent example of how coins can represent important historical events and national celebrations. Its unique dual date, the image of Independence Hall, and the portrait of President Kennedy make it one of the most recognizable commemorative coins ever produced by the United States' next top two. The 1981 D half dollar is part of the famous Kennedy half dollar series of the United States. This coin represents an important period in modern American coinage and continues the long-running tribute to John F. Kennedy. The Kennedy half dollar series first appeared in 1964 shortly after President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. The American public admired Kennedy deeply, and the United States government decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the half-dollar coin. Since then, the Kennedy half dollar has remained one of the most recognized coins in American numismatic history. The 1981 D version was produced at the famous Denver Mint, which uses the letter D mint mark to identify coins struck at that facility. The obverse, front, of the 1981 D Kennedy half dollar features the strong profile portrait of President John F. Kennedy facing left. This design was created by Gilroy Roberts, who designed the original Kennedy portrait in 1964. Around the top edge of the coin you will see the word Liberty, which is a traditional inscription on many United States coins symbolizing freedom and democratic values. The national motto, "In God We Trust," appears below Kennedy's chin, while the date 1981 appears at the bottom of the coin. The small D, mint mark indicating the Denver Mint, is located on the obverse near Kennedy's neck area. The reverse back of the coin shows the official presidential seal of the United States, a powerful symbol of the American government. The design features a heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide. In its claws the eagle holds an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and a bundle of arrows, representing military strength and readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle's head there are 13 stars, which represent the original 13 American colonies that formed the United States. Surrounding this design are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and half dollar at the bottom. The reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo, who adapted the presidential seal for the coin. The 1981 D Kennedy half dollar was produced using the standard clad composition introduced in 1971. The coin is made from a copper core bonded between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy, giving it durability and a silver-like appearance. The coin weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, making it one of the larger circulating coins in the United States. Its edge is reeded, meaning it has small vertical grooves around the rim, which historically helped prevent the shaving of precious metal from coins. By the early 1980s, half dollars were no longer commonly used in daily transactions in the United States. Most Americans preferred using smaller coins like quarters and dimes, so the half dollar became more popular among collectors rather than in everyday circulation. Because of this decline in circulation demand, many Kennedy half dollars from this era, including the 1981 D, were mainly stored in bank vaults or collected directly by numismatists. The mintage of the 1981 D Kennedy half dollar was relatively moderate compared with earlier decades. The Denver Mint produced about 33 million coins during that year. While this number may seem large, it is actually lower than many earlier Kennedy half-dollar mintages from the 1960s and 1970s. Because many of these coins were preserved in good condition, collectors today can still find examples in uncirculated or mint state condition. In terms of value, the 1981 D Kennedy half dollar generally has a market value close to its face value of 50 cents if it is circulated. However, coins in excellent uncirculated condition or graded by professional coin grading services can be worth several dollars. Special high-grade examples may be more valuable to collectors who are building complete Kennedy half-dollar sets. Historically, the Kennedy half-dollar series reflects many changes in American coinage, including changes in metal composition and minting practices. The 1981 D coin represents the mature stage of the series when the design had become a permanent symbol of modern U.S. coins. For collectors and historians, the coin is a reminder of both President Kennedy's legacy and the evolution of United States currency during the late 20th century. Today, the 1981 D. Kennedy half dollar remains a meaningful collectible coin. Whether found in old coin collections, bank rolls, or numismatic markets, it continues to attract attention because of its connection to American history and its beautiful design. Many collectors enjoy studying the details of the eagle, the portrait of President Kennedy, and the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust, which together represent the ideals and heritage of the United States' next top three. The 1984 D half dollar is an important coin from the long-running Kennedy half dollar series of the United States. This coin continues the tribute to John F. Kennedy, whose portrait has appeared on the half dollar since 1964. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced soon after President Kennedy's tragic assassination in 1963. The American public greatly admired Kennedy, and the United States government decided to honor his memory by placing his image on a circulating coin. Because of this historical background, every Kennedy half dollar, including the 1984 D, represents both American currency history and the legacy of one of the country's most influential presidents. The 1984 D half dollar was struck at the famous Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint. The D Mint mark on the coin indicates that it was produced in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint has been producing coins since the early 20th century and is known for minting billions of coins for circulation each year. On the 1984 Kennedy half dollar, the small D mint mark can be found on the obverse side, just to the right of President Kennedy's neck. The obverse front of the coin features a detailed left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. This design was created by Gilroy Roberts. Roberts originally designed the portrait for Kennedy's presidential medal, and it was later adapted for the half-dollar coin in 1964. Around the top of the coin appears the word Liberty, which is one of the most traditional inscriptions used on United States coins. The national motto, In God We Trust, appears beneath the portrait, while the year 1984 is written at the bottom edge of the coin. These inscriptions represent the political and cultural values of the United States, such as freedom, faith, and national identity. The reverse back of the 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar displays the presidential seal of the United States, an impressive and symbolic design. This reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo. At the center of the design is a large heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide. In its right claw, the eagle holds an olive branch, which symbolizes peace, while in its left claw it holds a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military strength and readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle's head are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that formed the United States. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar, which indicate the country of origin and the denomination of the coin. The 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar is made from a copper-nickel clad composition. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was introduced for the half dollar in 1971 after the earlier silver content was removed from circulating coins. The coin has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, weighs 11.34 grams, and features a reeded edge with small grooves around the rim. These grooves were historically used to prevent people from shaving precious metal from coins when they were made from silver or gold. During the 1980s, half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday transactions in the United States. Many Americans preferred using quarters, and as a result, the half dollar became more of a collector coin rather than a commonly circulating one. Because of this reduced demand, many Kennedy half dollars from this period, including the 1984 D, were stored by banks or saved directly by collectors. The mintage of the 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar was approximately 102 million coins, produced at the Denver Mint. Although this number is quite large, many coins were kept in excellent condition, which means collectors today can still find high-quality examples. In circulated condition, the coin usually has a value close to its face value of 50 cents, but uncirculated coins or coins graded in mint state, MS, condition can be worth several dollars depending on their quality and collector demand. For coin collectors and history enthusiasts, the 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar is an interesting piece of modern American numismatics. It represents a period when the half dollar was transitioning from everyday currency to a collectible item. The coin also continues to honor President Kennedy's influence on American history and politics. Many collectors around the world enjoy adding Kennedy half dollars to their collections because the series combines historical significance, beautiful design, and accessibility. Next, top 4. The 1997 D half dollar is part of the famous Kennedy half dollar series of the United States, a coin that honors the legacy of John F. Kennedy. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964 shortly after President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. Because Kennedy was a very popular and influential leader, the United States decided to commemorate him by placing his portrait on the half-dollar coin. Since then, the Kennedy half dollar has remained one of the most recognizable and historically meaningful coins produced by the United States Mint. The 1997 D version continues this tradition and represents the coinage style used during the late 20th century. The D Mint mark on the coin indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint, which is one of the main coin production facilities of the United States Mint system. Located in Denver, Colorado, the Denver Mint has been producing coins since the early 1900s and is known for striking billions of coins for circulation. On the 1997 D Kennedy half dollar, the mint mark appears on the obverse side, just to the right of Kennedy's portrait near the neckline. The obverse front of the 1997 D half dollar shows the left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. This iconic design was originally created by Gilroy Roberts. The portrait is surrounded by the word Liberty, which appears along the top edge of the coin and represents one of the most important values in American political history. Beneath Kennedy's portrait appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," while the date 1997 is written at the bottom of the coin. The portrait is detailed and strong, symbolizing leadership, dignity, and the memory of President Kennedy's contributions to the United States. The reverse back of the coin features the official presidential seal of the United States, a design that represents the power and unity of the American government. This reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo. At the center of the design is a large heraldic eagle with its wings spread wide. In its right claw, the eagle holds an olive branch, which symbolizes peace, while in its left claw it holds a bundle of arrows, representing strength and the nation's readiness to defend itself. Above the eagle's head there are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that formed the United States. Around the eagle appear the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar, clearly identifying the country and the denomination of the coin. The 1997 D Kennedy half dollar is made from a copper-nickel clad composition, which has been standard for circulating half dollars since 1971. The outer layers are composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper center. This gives the coin a silver-colored appearance while providing durability for circulation. The coin weighs 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with small grooves around the rim. By the 1990s, half dollars were rarely used in everyday transactions in the United States. Most Americans preferred using quarters and dollar bills, so the half dollar became more popular among coin collectors than in normal circulation. Because of this, many coins produced during this time were saved in mint condition by collectors and banks. The mintage of the 1997 D Kennedy half dollar was approximately 67 million coins produced at the Denver Mint. Although millions were minted, the coin is still collected by numismatists who enjoy completing full date and mint mark sets of the Kennedy half dollar series. In circulated condition, the coin is generally worth close to its face value of 50 cents, but coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth several dollars depending on their quality and collector demand. For collectors and historians, the 1997 D Kennedy half dollar represents a later stage in the Kennedy half dollar series and shows how the design remained almost unchanged for decades. The portrait of President Kennedy, the powerful eagle on the reverse, and the inscriptions such as Liberty and "In God We Trust" continue to symbolize American ideals and history.